I'd have to start at the very beginning when it was confirmed that I was invited to come, and perhaps the moment I pressed enter on purchasing a plane ticket to China. In 1,000 lifetimes, I never thought I would be visiting Yunnan, China, the mountains, tea, places to drink and study and discuss tea and the history. Never thought that would happen. So the moment that I realized that that was going to happen is the beginning of a very deep journey.
The highlights for me are always both on a human and non-human level, and at the points where they intersect. So even beyond specific moments, that's how I would approach it. And on the human level, I think there's so much of great value that happens on trips like these. It's almost tempting to say that that is the greater good that people will leave with, that they can incorporate into their daily lives, meaning the interactions that go on between us and between people. That's really, really touching to see, and how real, tactile, concrete growth happens in those moments. Aided, of course, by the let's say non-human aspects, which are, for example, when we're in places like this, in an ancient tea tree grove, where something beyond our regular plane of existence happens, and we allow the tea tree to really do its essential work here on the planet, which is to remind us of who we really essentially are.
First and foremost, the most powerful experience on this trip was drinking tea beneath the waterfall at Ailau, particularly to drink the water that we collected from that magical mountain. Is perhaps one of the most transcendent experiences of my life, one of the most transcendent tea ceremonies I've experienced and been in. Experienced that deep connection to that mountain through the water, which had only a few weeks ago been raining, and it had been on this immense journey.
One of the highlights of this trip was in Ailau, meeting this incredible woman that makes such an amazing tea. And she's so, we cannot speak one language, but you can read everything in her eyes. She's like, I don't know, like a mother of all these trees and a daughter of all of them, and she's like so connected. And I really feel like she's maybe one of the trees just decided to walk around. She's so amazing. I'm absolutely in love with her. Antia, yeah, our host in Ailau.
That language of the water and mountains, which unfortunately now we have lost touch with. We don't know the language anymore. And I think almost for a moment I could hear the water speak. And
think one highlight is really seeing the spark that tea has given to everybody. It feels like I can either feel or sometimes even see it living in the community of people that are here, and that's been profound because I'm new to tea, and to just see as I get to know each person, it's like a little tea lives through them, and the transformation in each of their lives and the braiding of that it creates as these people come together and go away. It's like a living organism that's just beautiful, sort of one heart among many.
First highlight is actually meeting everybody from the Tea Hut community. I've been a subscriber for a long time and I haven't met anyone yet apart from a couple of people in England, and it was such an amazing way to meet somebody like in the birthplace of tea. So just like, and I was amazed how open-hearted everybody else is, how loving everybody is, how soulful. The whole group was magical.
I think for me this trip has been about understanding where the leaf comes from. So there's a line that says, know who you are, know where you came from. And for me, I think that this trip has been about really that deep understanding of where she comes from. And
also talking about the whole trip of being some kind of a meditation retreat. It's been the same for me. I was just, because I'm just coming out of a tea meditation right now, so I'm just realizing that it's, you know, that the contact with tea just stirs up so much in you. And it's not like that the whole trip, just like a meditation retreat, is a happy thing from start to finish. No, it goes up and down, up and down. I really have the feeling that, you know, tea just comes so deep and just gets me moving and confronts me with all these things. And these are also one of the things that makes me feel so grateful that I got touched in tea, because it not only shows me the things that I love and teaches me how to appreciate them, but also shows me the challenges that I'm facing on a day-to-day basis.
I could only liken it to maybe perhaps someone who is adopted and meets their birth birth parents for the first time. And I think for me it will be that same feeling of knowing where she comes from, knowing where I come from. There'll be a sense of wholeness and certainty and completedness, I think, now when I serve and when I offer tea.
It's my first trip to Asia in general, and being like surrounded by this richness that we have being witnessed is just extraordinary. And being with this kind of group like we have over here is to me at some point really overwhelming, and it's at some points even seems like it's not about the tea tree itself. It's more like the tea is connecting, like in a tea session. Like you create this, the space, and the tea helps you to heal yourself and to connect to other people and to nature. And over here it kind of feels the same way, that the aim was to come and see the tea trees and see where it grows. But actually she has helped to connect to people and to nature in very beautiful ways and very silent ways, often without words, so the transmission is very obvious. And I will go back home much stronger and as a new person.
Coming from being a student of tea back in the West, I can only drink tea, can only read about it, speak with it, but not actually be with it. And to come here after loving tea for so long is a bit surreal. It's going to be hard to convey the intensity and the power of this place without coming here. So I suggest any tea lover get the opportunity to have tea from old trees in a place of their source, with the water, with fellow Cha-Jin that you love, and it will change your life. And it absolutely has changed mine.
Being here, this is a divine space, and it's just so wonderful to be able to be here drinking tea, connecting to the trees and connecting with the leaf, connecting with the ecosystem where the trees live, and also doing this with my community. We're having tea underneath an ancient tree, and I was thinking how beautiful it was for everyone to have come from everywhere in the world just to sit together in silence for 3-4 hours and share the love of the leaf and the reverence, and
and also bring all this energy back home to our small communities. It's a privilege, and I'm just grateful for my brothers and sisters.
我非常的荣幸，也非常的愉快，可以陪同大家来到这一片这么好的生态的这个古茶树区，让大家可以真正的接触到茶、自然、生态以及我们的心。
Yesterday we was in the same forest, but we met the garden tree. It's so huge and so vibrant and so incredibly big, and I don't know, I really feel like it's garden, and I always felt like protectors, they are like strong, and you know, they have teeth and they a little bit can be aggressive, but that garden tree, and exactly I feel more or less about Meister Tsai, they're protectors, but they can be so soft and gentle and really protect this. So this, like meeting these amazing creatures is probably the highlights of this trip.
Seeing the tree yesterday, it's my life's work to connect with plants, and it has a superlative on top of all the plants I've connected with, which is when I saw it, I just had tears, and it's not just tears of joy or tears of sadness, it's this like a returning. Something so essential, so kind, so open-hearted, and very generous. This feeling of incredible generosity that poured through, and that was before that was just taking it in through the eyes. That was before I even took this tree in through the rest of my senses.
Well, there have been so many incredible tea ceremonies in different locations. I would say the greatest highlight so far was our day spent yesterday with the old trees in Jingmai, and sitting underneath the grandfather tree and a 1,000-year-old tea tree, and sitting in silence for a couple hours and allowing the energy and the spirit of this forest to really kind of permeate the group and permeate myself, and to really connect with these trees on a much deeper level than I ever have before.
it's not even a highlight to the trip to be able to drink tea here. It's a highlight for life. You know, you couldn't come here with an appreciation of tea and its history and not be changed. And to be honest, I don't know that I'll, in this lifetime, have the words to describe how important and deep this has been. Which is unfortunate, because I need to find the proper way to share this experience with other people. You know, it now feels like an obligation to tell others about this place, because so many billions of people live on this planet and won't have an opportunity to come here and do that. So it's now like an obligation to share.
I don't want to say that the inherent value of this trip has been in the itinerary. It's not the case. It's not as if I bought a plane ticket and made a donation so that I could press my own pu'er tea and go home and brew it for my friends. That's just, I don't think that was ever the spirit of this trip, and certainly after having met all the other wonderful people here, I know they came without that expectation as well. They came here to be together and to really appreciate something that they so deeply love.
我觉得你们的心每一个人都好美丽，让我也感触到，如果把这个美好的心，像乌德老师一样，一碗接着一碗把它传递出去，我们会让世界更多的人可以借由茶看到自己的真心，看到所有人的真心。
I don't know if I'm talking to you guys or if I'm talking to a camera or...
Couple highlights of your trip.
Are you recording right now?
Yeah.
Right now you gotta focus on your career.
You're young, you gotta focus on your career.
Yeah, you know what are you, an old Chinese man? You just sit around and drink tea all day?